Ladies and gentlemen, the time is finally here. Assassin's Creed Valhalla are coming out with the brand new river raids, which will be releasing tomorrow at around 12 PM GMT. Now in this video, I'll be going over every single bit of information you need to know about this title update and of course what is included within the river raids, because as we all know, it is completely free. So if you guys want to enjoy this video, click the like button down below and of course remember to subscribe for some more Assassin's Creed Valhalla content. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So title update 1.1.2 will be coming out on the Xbox series of consoles, the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 and PC. Now on the Series X and Series S, this update is a whopping 19.53 gigabytes. On the normal Xbox One, it's 15.27 gigabytes. On the PlayStation 5, it's 11.18 gigabytes. On the PlayStation 4, it's 10.23 and on PC, it's 18.4 gigabytes. Now deployment timing for all platforms is 1 PM Central European Time, 7 AM Eastern Standard Time, 4 AM Pacific Standard Time, and 11 PM AEDT. Now, of course, the main draw for this game mode and update are the River Raids, which is a brand new game mode coming to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, you can prepare your Jomsviking crew for this highly replayable mode that will take you to unexplored regions of England, which is full of raiding opportunities, new loot, and challenges which await your character. Now, of course, in this new update, we will be getting some brand new abilities. The first one being the Berserker Trap. Now this attaches a trap to your arrow, spreading some powder, and any nearby movement causes the trap to trigger, surprising any clueless passers-by, making them hallucinate different weird things. Up next is the Battle Cry. Now in a fit of rage, Eivor lets out a blood-curdling scream, gaining strength and causing nearby enemies to stumble backwards in fear, interrupting their attacks. And then we have the Shoulder Bash, where Eivor performs a shoulder bash that pushes back enemies and destroys objects. We also get a bunch of new skills. First we have Assassin Carry, which means you can automatically carry a body after a successful animation. Assassin Slide, slide into enemies and knock them off balance while sprinting. Power Stroke, trigger a speed boost on the longship at the cost of stamina. Arrow Looter, Eivor has a greater chance of looting arrows from archers. Fight Ready, Eivor starts a fight with an adrenaline-filled slot. And Longship Brace, when you're in command of the longship, the crew will raise their shield with you. Now of course we have a whole brand new bunch of game improvements. So first, runes and used resources to upgrade Berserker gear will be returned to the player inventory when an item is lost. Improved vibration feedback during fishing. They address an issue that caused players to leave disguise mode if players perform any attack whilst riding. Address an issue that prevented players from catching fish in the sea or on the coastlines. Address an issue that caused school of fish to take a long time to respawn after one was caught. Items purchased at the Animus store will only be given to players after returning to England from Vinland. Changed Predator charge attack animations to give players a little bit more time to react. Addressed an issue that prevented fabric from being available. Added date of purchase to items listed in the owned section of the store. Now as you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla hasn't been very balanced, so they've upgraded and updated the balancing systems on a couple weapons and items. So they've removed diamond rune slots from gear pieces other than the torsos. They've balanced the graphics, audio animations. They've addressed various graphics, lighting issues, texture issues. They've addressed an issue that caused explosion VFX to be missing when oil jars explode. PS5 and PS4, the Muspel Ward Mount now will burn with the fires of hell. The blood on your enemies will now soil all clothing. Addressed various character and NPC animation issues. Addressed various clipping issues. Addressed an issue that prevented visual effects of the Draugr set to be displayed. And they addressed an issue that caused arrows to disappear from the quiver after equipping the bow from the inventory section. Those are a lot of issues that they have of course addressed. Now for a bunch of quests and world events and side activities, there's quite a lot here. So they addressed an issue in Storming the Walls mission, preventing players from completing the quest. Garnard has decided to join the festivities in the first night of Shaman, allowing players to complete the quest party time. They addressed an issue that allowed NPC in the Good Men of Sherwood world event to be killed. Jomsviking gear will now be displayed with their quality properly in the customization page. They addressed an issue that could cause Jomsvikings to change shapes and sizes in the menu when being recruited. Randvi is ready to hear the news after completing the Shropshire arc, allowing completion of the Alliance. They also address an issue that prevented players from interacting with Tove after having carried Complete the Torch. They address an issue that caused some dice to be reused when both players use the Godfather, given additional 3 dice, which means players will no longer have a dice up their sleeve. They addressed an issue with the Fishmonger encounter that prevented the quest quest from being marked as complete after confirming the kill. Players will no longer be Ashen if escaping fighting the Bard in The Devil Has All the Best Tunes. Players loading a save created after knocking in clues and riddles will now be able to complete the objective. They've also addressed an issues and multiple issues in Extended Family that caused the boss to not deal any damage during underground attacks, and stuff that caused the boss to get stuck near walls, stay underground, or not engage in combat altogether. They addressed an issue that prevented the Final Order member to be revealed. They addressed an issue in Binding Fate that prevented players from completing the boss encounter, as the boss may get stuck underground. And of course, in the Binding Fate again, they fixed that prevented the players from completing the quest after talking to Tyr. They also addressed an issue in War Weary that prevented players from completing the quest after having defeated all NPCs outside, and they addressed an issue that caused all Order members to be killed after killing a Zealot. They also addressed the issue in the Big Finish that prevented players from completing the quest when the hideout was visited before the starting quest. They addressed an issue in the Blood from the Stone that prevented players from moving a stack of cargo. They also addressed an issue in the Prodigal Prince that caused the objective to remain stuck if Eivor assassinates the first training dummy before reaching the checkpoint. They also addressed an issue that prevented players from interacting with Gottfried Fair Robes post-fight if the players threw them in the river. They also addressed an issue in the Twit Saga Part 1 where the house would sometimes not catch fire, preventing players from completing the world quest, and they addressed an issue in Diegalas the Beautiful twice that caused the kid to grow in size and that prevented Diegalas from leaving the water. They also addressed an issue that prevented players from interacting with settlement NPCs. They addressed an issue in Crushed Dreams that prevented players from completing the world event as the wife is in a dead state, and they of course addressed an issue that caused the world map to become unavailable after speaking to Ceolwulf, and holy crap, that was a lot of stuff they addressed in this update. And that's not all. They also updated a bunch of gameplay, combat, and AI stuff. They addressed several NPC issues, Eivor's call from the actions wheel. They also fixed a problem that players had when if they were to fight an NPC, it would die before they even got a hit. They addressed an issue that caused Eivor to end up on their toes after being idle for a while, which should have left in the game. That's quite cool. They addressed an issue that caused elements to spawn in miniature form, and they addressed an issue that allowed players to obtain Nodin's Arc using the save load actions, which is the main way to get the new bow, but of course you can't get that anymore. They addressed some audio issues, some audios with photo mode, and of course the user AI interface. Now on the system, mainly PC, they addressed some issues with various Ubisoft Connect achievements that were not unlocking correctly when the conditions were met. These include Take My Hand, The Enemy of My Enemy, Disorder of the Ancients, Completionist All the Way, the Equine Attack unlock condition, several online service errors, and an issue that caused the MSI voice command feature to stop working after save/load, and to end it off, they improved performance and stability. That was a lot to get through, but honestly it was worth. Now I know I gave Ubisoft a bunch of shit for the DLC, and that's still the case on microtransactions of course, but the developers for the game are working hard and tirelessly to make sure we get the game that they want us to play without any problems. And honestly, yes, it's not an AC game properly, but I'm excited for River Raids just to get back in the game and have more cool experiences within the world of Valhalla. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, then smash that subscribe button to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Assassin's Creed Valhalla informational videos. And without further ado, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.